So I'm pretty sure that you're already familiar with the basics of getting lean, such as creating a calorie deficit, getting enough protein, eating healthy, lifting weights, and all that cool stuff. But the thing is, there's a really big difference between knowing what to do and knowing how to do it consistently. And that difference is what separates those who are stuck, losing the same 10 pounds over and over again, versus those who are successfully getting down to 12% or 15% body fat and making that their new lifestyle. And in this video, I want to share with you what you need to know to be a part of that second group. So you can not only just get to your target body fat percentage, but you can make that your new lifestyle moving forward. So without any further ado, let's dive into the first thing you need to know, which is how to leverage the power of frequency. Let me put it like this. Which one do you think is going to get you better results? Brushing your teeth for 6 hours one day, or brushing your teeth for 2 minutes every day for 6 months? You don't need a PhD to figure out that no matter how hard you go, if you brush your teeth only once every 6 months, that's not a good strategy. So with certain habits, it's not about how intense you can do them in one go, it's more about the frequency and how often you do them. And this is why I tend to mention things from a daily perspective, because there are certain actions you can take every day which are simple that will then compound to amazing results. And here's a couple that I recommend. Daily weigh-ins, so you can understand your weight fluctuations and realize that weight loss is not linear. Daily step count to keep an active lifestyle and get all the health benefits. Daily calorie and macro tracking to keep you accountable and in a calorie deficit. And then daily hitting the like button on all my videos, which will improve everything else. And none of these require some kind of grand heroic effort, but if you do them consistently, they will generate great results. And the same applies to bad habits as well. Maybe you have a couple of those. Could be snacking between meals or after dinner. Could be that you're getting lazy with groceries, then you have to order food 4 or 5 times a week. Could be that you're missing out on 25-30 minutes of high quality sleep because you're on social media right before you go to bed. And none of these things would matter if they happen once in a while, but if they're happening on a daily basis, they will negatively affect your results. So if you want to get down to that 12 to 15% body fat, you want to transform your physique, you want to build a new lifestyle, start by changing something you do daily. Now, speaking of building a new lifestyle, the second thing you want to be very careful with is something I call the I deserve it trap. So what I see with a lot of guys is they're gonna start on a new plan, they're motivated, they're putting in the effort, and they're seeing some good results early on. And instead of building on those results, they use those results now as an excuse or rationalization to get off track a little bit because they quote unquote deserve it. And of course, they break their routine and now they have to invest more effort in rebuilding that routine. So they're always kind of starting and stopping. They never really stay dialed in for a longer period of time. In psychology, this effect is called moral licensing. It's when people do something they perceive to be good, such as exercise, that they feel like they can justify doing something like eating a bunch of junk food or drinking a lot of alcohol. In one study, researchers found when they gave smokers vitamins that some of them ended up smoking twice as much because they thought they did something healthy and they're protected from the negative effects. And the bottom line here is there are many psychological biases working against you on this journey. So it's important that you become aware of them so they don't end up limiting your progress and getting you off track. And when you're making decisions, you want to make sure that you base your decisions on data rather than your emotional state. So instead of asking yourself how you feel right now, whether you feel like you've done something good or bad, ask yourself whether your decision is moving you closer to your goal or further away from your goal. And even better, ask yourself what would the fit and lean version of you do in that situation? Because if you're making decisions like the fit version of yourself, you will eventually become one. Now, the third thing that you need to know that's going to help you get lean is a concept I call the 3 diet dimensions. And these are the exact 3 points that I look at when I'm evaluating someone's plan to see whether they're on the right track or not. The first dimension is diet quality, the types of foods that you're eating. If you're eating a bunch of junk food and if you haven't had a vegetable in a week, well, that's a problem. The second dimension is diet quantity. Are you aware of your calories and your macros? And are you tracking your calories and macros to hold yourself accountable using an app like MyFitnessPal? And the third dimension is eating psychology. How good is your relationship with food? Are you using food to regulate your emotional state and deal with stress? Or are you able to make rational food decisions even if life is very complicated and there's a lot of things going on? I often run into people who have maybe one or two dimensions figured out, but it's very rare to see someone who has all three. A common scenario that I run into are guys who are eating a very high quality diet, they're eating healthy 95 to 100% of the time, they really enjoy it, they're very proud to say that their meals are homemade with good quality ingredients, lots of salad, lots of protein, grass-fed beef, wild salmon, everything looks fine on paper. You think this guy's walking around at 12 to 15% body fat already. But no, they're stuck at 25% body fat because they are not dialing in the second dimension, which is diet quantity. It doesn't matter if you eat all healthy if you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to get down to 12 to 15% body fat. So for this person, it's very important that they start becoming accountable to that food intake and start using a food tracking app to really see where their calories, where their macros, and start dialing in the numbers. And another situation that I see very often are guys who have the quantity with MyFitnessPal and they have the quality somewhat dialed in, but their eating psychology is off. So they're coming from this very obsessive and rigid place where they're trying to micromanage all their food choices and keep everything perfect. So inevitably, when life gets complicated and there's more stress and their usual routine gets disrupted, they fall completely off track. They start emotionally eating, there's a lot of calories coming in, and that causes a lot of damage, which basically keeps them stuck. So as you can see, in any plan, it's important to have all three dimensions. You need the quality, the quantity, and the psychology. And this is really what enables you to create a system that will work for you long term. And remember, making mistakes is also part of the process. You don't measure success by what happens on one single day. An evening of indulging never took someone from 15 to 30% body fat. Same as fasting for a whole day won't take someone from 25% body fat down to 10% body fat. It's really about what's happening in your routine on a consistent basis. And that's really where you want to focus and improve. And same as anything else in life, it's going to be tough at the start and there's going to be some challenges, but as you get better and as you improve, things will get easier. And what's going to help you improve is making sure hit that subscribe button below, notifications by hit the bell icon, details for coaching if you want to work with me are in the description below. Also leaving another very helpful video here for you at the end, so check out that video and I'm going to see you right there.